One of the other guys in Five Finger Death Punch is trying to get you to collaborate with him on something, but you had to go to work, and he was like, what?
He was like, work. I was like, yeah, man, I picked up a gig moving furniture, and I just like moved this ridiculous piano. And I shortly had a retainer within days.
I know we got a lot of heavy shit to get into.
Yeah.
But I got to underline this and put exclamation points behind this again.
Okay.
It's fucking crazy to me that you helped me move. I'm telling people, like, even as I tell people, I'm still blown away, but I'm like, dude, what a nice guy Chris is that he helped me move.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to put up chriskaelmoves.com available for your moving needs anywhere in the Las Vegas Valley.
Dude, that seriously says a lot about you and what kind of human being you are.
Well, you know, I think I told you, I actually moved. I had a moving gig for about 2 days.
This is the funniest story ever. You just joined Five Finger Death Punch. This is literally just joined.
Yes, in the very beginning.
And the financial agreement was like, ooh, I'm going to need to make some money to make this work.
Right. So I knew I was going to have to work because I was a new guy in the band. Wasn't getting any retainer at that point. And I know how to play chess. And I knew that a couple of the people in the band, you know, it's a huge brand. It was a huge brand at that point already. And I was trying to figure out a way to negotiate my way into a retainer. So what better way than picking up a moving gig? From my friend Brian. He runs a moving company. And I legitimately needed the money. I was like, you know, I had taken a pay cut going from bartending in Vegas.
That's
to the new guy.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, that really how much money is to be made in Vegas. It's still close.
Say that really says a lot about how much money can be made in bartending here in Vegas.
Exactly.
But yeah, that you actually were taking a pay cut to join Five Finger Death Punch at that time.
Absolutely. And imagine if I was pretty, how much of a pay cut I'd be taking.
You know what? And I got to say, this is not like arena stadium level Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, when I saw the first time I met you, you guys were doing theaters. First time I met you, but you guys were doing good.
Oh yeah,
you guys were doing good.
Yeah,
and already on your way and already ascending. But the story I remember is that you told me that one of the guys in the band called you up and said, "Hey man, you want to get together?" And you said, "I gotta go to work."
Sorry, bro, gotta work.
One of the other guys in Five Finger Death Punch is trying to get you to collaborate with him on something, but you had to go to work, and he was like, "What?"
He was like, "Work."
Like
what? I was like, yeah, man, I picked up a gig moving furniture, and I just like moved this ridiculous piano. I wanted to hang myself after that move. Wow. It was terrible. I mean, I want to hang myself a lot, but that day in particular,
man,
I've already got the built-in.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Demonetized.
And
I just unalived myself live.
And
or unalive, is it?
Canceled.
Yes.
So,
yeah, I told him, I let, he asked if I could go hang out. I was like, sorry, man, I gotta work. He's like, work. And I shortly had a retainer, within days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, man.
Yeah.
You got the gig. And
yeah. I'm grateful for them stepping up and keeping me from having to move another piano. Cause that was in the rain. It was terrible with the boss. I'm not even going to say who the guy's name is. If he's listening, he knows who he is. We have the segment, Chris is pissed. Woo! This dude, that could be his entire show.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get into a Chris is pissed because you just came back from a pretty serious thing. So
actually, we can roll. Once we're to that part, we can still roll it because I can still tie it into Chris is pissed.
But you had a heavy weekend.
I did.
And you told me a couple days ago that something serious had just happened and you had to skip town for a few days.
Actually, which leads us to... Are we queued up for Chris is pissed? Okay, so we're going to edit that in. And we're going to keep all this in too. He goes, no, man, we're going to put that in when you go ahead and getting that deposit in that we just talked about. This is a business, boy.
Don't edit that. I want to keep all of that.
Every bit of it,
yeah. So you went through some...
I didn't go through shit, honestly. Looking at things, I'm trying to keep the perspective. Let me back up. This past, I forget what day it was, Thursday or Friday. I got a call from Zoltan, letting me know that a good friend of ours, whose daughter has been battling cancer, got moved to hospice this week. And this is a dude who is an incredible human being, very generous, grew up incredibly poor.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, incredibly poor. Has had a lot thrown at him. Has worked, literally pulled. He's the American dream, starting off in poverty, and he's doing incredibly well today. And continues to give to charities, and just a wonderful human being. He's helped me out in dark times. Right before I got sober, actually, I was talking to him about how I felt out of control, and he's had some surroundings with addiction as well, and kind of gave me a little pep talk. And that was before I went to rehab. Yeah. So
I know that you've been going to do charity events with him.
Yeah.
Over the years, you like once a year you go out there and do an event that he.
Yeah, I do, and I don't want to say what it is because I'm trying to keep his personal stuff out of here and basically just talk about the stuff that I'm going through. So I don't want to give too much information as to who the guy is, just for privacy concerns for him. But his daughter, not even 30, moved to hospice care because of cancer. So what I'm pissed about this week is cancer. But it's more of a sad, really, than anger. It sucks seeing your friend go through that. A father who's got a daughter who he even said, it's supposed to be me in there. I'm supposed to go first. That hit me. I was like, whoa. So again, I'm trying to. My life is good. I'm healthy. I'm sober. Career-wise, band's going great. So this is more empathy that's making me sad today. If I look at things and see my life, it gives me a new perspective, or not a new perspective, but further emboldens the perspective of living in the moment, realizing that the time that we are gifted is minuscule. And then to have, a young girl who if she's 30, she's barely 30. To see her going through that. She was cognizant and aware when I got to see her. So I got a couple of laughs out of her and the family while I was in there. Yeah. So you feel powerless in a situation like that. I am a big, strong, tough guy, and this has me shook. Like it sucked. As an addict, I start getting into my own head.
Oh, wow.
Pondering, overthinking things, pondering time. I'm 50 right now. I don't think about mortality ever. But because of this experience this past weekend, began to overthink and kind of spiral a little bit. I'm sober, so don't message me. Things are still good. I appreciate your concern. But honestly, like the drugs and alcohol hasn't even been a thought as like, I need to turn to that. I've been angry, very angry. And there's a couple of times I wouldn't like this ring would have been imprinted on people's foreheads over the weekend because I feel like on edge and ready to snap. And that's the reaction that I'm having being in that uncomfortable situation.
So are you saying that the uncomfortable feelings usually put you towards drugs and alcohol, but now it doesn't?
Back in the day, this would have been something triggering for me. I would have gone into self-pity probably. Made it about me. Oh, I'm feeling so bad about this. No, I because of sobriety and because of the work that I do and continue to do every single day through morning gratitude lists, meditation, hanging out with other addicts and talking about stuff like this. This podcast is a wonderful example of things that allow me to continue to put space between my active addiction and today. So yeah, that emotionally reactive was triggers for me back in the day. If I started feeling sad, if less than, that would be when it would drive me to, I called it a case of the fuckets.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I was most in danger of back in the day. But I don't have a fuck it attitude with this. Like I'm genuinely, I rushed down to be with him and his family, and was able to be there in a capacity that I would not have been able to have been there were I not sober. I would have been a mess, emotional mess, Add the alcohol on top of that, even worse, as far as like getting sad and depressed and all that
Dude,
stuff.
that is the biggest thing that people struggle with when and we're both sober, you and I, but people who try to get into recovery, the moment something pops up that makes you mad, makes you sad, whatever, it's like, oh man, fuck this. And then you just want to just dive right back in. And it's tough. You got to really, really want it. You got to really, really want that recovery. And it's crazy to me that I wanted it so bad when I got to that point that I just was able to just go. I wanted it so, I had hurt myself so much. And I think it was like a couple years when I finally admitted it to my mom. And I said, hey, I said, I just want you to know I had a problem with drugs and alcohol, and I'm sober now. I've been sober, I think it was like 2 years at the time. And, it's been really helpful to me. And maybe it would be helpful to you if you looked into something like this. My mom looked at me and she went, I don't believe you. I think you're lying. And for half a second, I immediately went to like, fuck this. I'm getting fucked up, right? And I was solid in recovery.
Oh yeah. If I'm being accused of it, I might as well do it.
Yeah. I couldn't believe how immature and irrational I was in a split second.
That is exactly it. Back then, I was very emotionally immature, fairly mentally immature in regards to knowing how to deal with stuff as well. And today, several years into recovery, I've got the tools that I need to be able to kind of maintain an emotional stability, even in difficult situations like this.